Hello, my name is Mordred Viking and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4. Now, I am aware on the schedule it's supposed to be Total War 3 Kingdoms at the moment, but I am rendering a bunch of videos for, well, basically to cover when I am away, and they are still going, and I kind of need the computer to continue doing that while I am streaming. So we are somewhat limited in what games we can do. They basically need to be ones which aren't too graphics or CPU intensive, and Hearts of Iron definitely isn't, whereas Total War 3 Kingdoms is usually pretty darned system intensive. So hopefully we will be good to go here. In the previous session, Germany finally surrendered to the Communards. The Germans then retreated to Africa, so we've got the German government in exile. In Africa we've got the French Republic, which is the last stand for the Entente, also in Africa, while the Soviets are under very heavy attack from Turkestan Khanate and Mongolia, and also Finland. So we've just rerouted our units from the war against Austria and the remnants of the German system, and we're going to go and assist our Soviet allies in this. Although the Soviets haven't joined the Third Internationale proper, we did have a guarantee with them, so we are definitely going to do our part. Wow, I'm getting a lot of factories. How much stuff am I exporting? 80, 100, 140 oil, bit of aluminium, no rubber, 1 tungsten, oh, steel, loads of steel, and then no chromium. Wow, we are exporting a lot of steel. Cool. Anyway, I do want to start building more military factories. I'm not that bothered about these getting built that quickly. I'm wondering, do I want to put the military factories above the dockyards? I think at this point I do. I know I queued up the dockyards first, but we've actually got like 60 of them now, which is a pretty decent number. We in fact have 71. So yeah, that's fine. Do we have any ships that need to be trained? 1. And you don't seem to be training, which is unacceptable. And you can join that. Okay, good. So, what is going on in Finland? Eunice is still on the way over. Now, bearing in mind that this is restarting from where we crashed, so we're probably a couple of days out from where we actually were. For instance, have we changed the manpower law? We have. We're just still replenishing, I believe. Oh, and we've also hit the air experience number that I was going for, so I think we're going to upgrade the close air support again. Probably... problem is we've already used up all of the reliability, so we can't get any more range. Well, in that case, we're going to get the fighters, and we're going to upgrade the fighters' range. And engine. Something like that looks good. Because agility, well, increasing the engines also increases their range, plus increasing range increases range. Because the faster they move, the further the distance they can cover with the same amount of fuel. Alright, so let's go and upgrade the Warhawks to the A1s. And that is all looking good. Oh, bugger, they got the cut-off. Well, that is one thing that we're going to have to liberate, because all of the Soviet forces over here are now cut off. There's no supply port up there. There is going to be supply over here, but that is going to be rather more difficult to keep open. Although they're not actually up against anyone who can attack them at sea. All of their enemies are landlocked.
Keep on moving.
So what I think we need to do is move fairly quickly against the Finns if we can. And then once the Finns are knocked out, we can move the Blues over to support the Reds. The Reds' main job is to make sure that Moscow doesn't fall. To that end. try to take him. Doesn't really happen. Meanwhile, the French should still be fighting against the combined Ukrainian-Austrian forces. And there's a couple of red icons up there in the north, but not too bad. And then we also have a Danish invasion trying to retake Germany. And we're also still trying to take out Belgium. I think it's only actually Brussels being held. They've actually got a nice surround here on the AOG forces. Did the two Sicilies ever capitulate? They... can't tell. No, must have. Though they still exist and they're still fighting. Right, and I can't use the Russian air bases for whatever reason, nor can I use the air bases from the French puppets, which is really annoying. So what we need to start doing is sending aircraft directly to the Soviet Union. So what I think I'm going to do here is we're going to modify your Lend-Lease. We're going to send you like 20% of our aircraft production. And the Soviets can use that power themselves. Okay, you lot have a lot of planning preparation already. Mostly you're trying to recover organization. But I'm just going to say, go ahead, counterattack. Let's see what we can do. If we take St. Petersburg back again, then that puts Moscow in a lot less danger than it was.
Listen up.
Still trying to get trucks up here. This is way too dangerous, so we're just going to go up to here. So unfortunately all the Soviet forces back here are pretty much dead. Not a huge amount we can do to save them. Let's see how this... okay, that's Baratia. Baratia's doing fine. Where's the Soviet war? This one. Off to capitulation. They should be alright. Norwegian Union has capitulated Central America. What? Portugal took out Norway. Huh. And then Central America as well? Mexico, you had one job! They even managed to take out Costa Rica at one point. It's because all these units, they're trying to get over to Europe. You have no reason to do so. Meanwhile, my naval raiding against Burma and the AOG seems to be doing pretty effectively. Oh yeah, sinking a lot of stuff actually, this is good. Should probably double check to see if there is any damage being done. Not a huge amount. Good. Where's Raipur? Oh! This was two provinces in. And now Baratia is on the outskirts of Raipur. That means Baratia is now winning. They're pushing back. Delhi still hasn't fallen. They've lost a little bit of land up here, but honestly that's a good thing because it means that their front line is now smaller. So they can concentrate their forces a bit better. May want to set up a defensive line in Mexico just in case. Yeah. Problem is I don't really have anyone to do that with. Actually, that's not true. I can absolutely do that with these guys, and these guys are built for defensive combat. So let's see, what's going to be the best location? 1, 2, 3. Probably defending just behind this line right here. My level 8 defensive commander. In fact, guerrilla fighter for you might be really strong. Seeing as you're all about defense anyway. 50% faster entrenchment? Go on then. Advanced fire control. Good. That's going to mean that my fast battleships can now be upgraded. And I think with that in mind, we probably should start doing some naval doctrine work. Now, let's see. I'm using almost purely cruisers, so base strike might actually be the best option for us. Need to get this line. Just this line, in fact. Destroyer subdetection organization, escort efficiency, destroyer cruiser subdetection organization, destroyer subdetection organization, destroyer cruiser. And a big boost to organization and escort efficiency. Carrier, heavy carrier, naval targeting sortie. Carrier, cruiser organization. Carrier, carrier. Fast battleship organization, we are using those as well. Cruiser organization. Yeah, okay, we're going to start working on these. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and spend the points to do it. Who's the bigger fool? The fool or the fool who trusts Paradox AI to do its job? One job, Mexico. Have we taken St. Petersburg back? Yes, we have.
Yes, sir.
Set to aggressive. Just be normal.
Under fire.
We definitely don't have great coverage over here, but hopefully we can shift our forces around to get the better coverage in good time. But the attack on Denmark, the attack on Finland is going to be a lot stronger, I think. Denmark. Come on, Mordred. That's embarrassing. Denmark's on my mind because of the hilarious stuff about Greenland at the moment. I mean, it's not hilarious that Trump has the audacity to actually try and buy an entire country, but one of the Danish newspapers had a brilliant comeback. They were like, well, maybe we should try and buy the USA. I mean, it's going to be cheap. They're so badly in debt anyway. Oh, crikey. They're on the outskirts of Berlin. Protectionist policy is completed. So now, let's see, our stability is still at 45. And improving the worker conditions is actually finished. I think we're going to go for the social dividends, get the free infrastructure. Congress has passed a law instituting a basic universal income, wherein a portion of all profit generated from state-run enterprises will be divided amongst our citizens. Our labourers are not just mere subjects, they're the very thing that keeps our nation running, so they shall hereby be entitled to some of America's collective wealth. Was actually a politician from Greenland who said that. Oh, was it? Okay, I missed that part. PressTV.com, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. That's already done, but we do have enough political power to make another change. And the area that I was looking at is we don't actually have an infantry equipment manufacturer yet. And we do still use a lot of infantry equipment because of the motorized. In fact, we don't have a motorized manufacturer. Like the very thing that we are focusing on, like, the most. So initially I was thinking of like Studebaker for the production cost reduction, but we're America, we don't really need that. Wait, Buick is artillery research speed and then production cost for motorized and mechanized. That's interesting. Never seen that mixed up like that before. Motorised and mechanised reliability and defence. Mammon Harrington would be quite good for that. Or hardness and max speed might be even better. Reliability and defence. Those two are the same. Nash Motors. Hardness and max speed. Yeah, because the hardness is going to save us a lot of lives, because that's only countered by heavy attack as opposed to soft attack. And we've kind of defeated the most industrial enemy that we have already. So being able to resist soft attack is going to be really potent. Plus the extra max speed for the motorized and mechanized, I think it's going to work well. So that means my motorized is even faster. So I do need to be careful that I don't make the light tanks too slow. Otherwise I won't be able to keep up.
Yes, sir.
At the moment. Hold on, didn't a bunch of your units used to be veterans?
Commands.
Yeah, you've lost a ton of experience. Well, that's a little irritating. My wing division definitely used to be veteran. They're not far off. It won't take a huge amount of experience to get again. H2s. We have the heavy tanks. We can finally begin building them. Well, with that in mind, I would like to see them upgraded. I can actually make them 7.8 kilometers per hour, and that doesn't affect their reliability at all. Engine is going to need to be upgraded pretty heavily to counter the armor problems. So they will overall be very slightly quicker. I don't think I've ever bothered upgrading heavy tank armor before, and yet here we are. What a bizarre game. Huzzah! Huzzah! And in fact, close air support we'll put there. We're actually going to put the machine guns at the bottom, so any damaged factories come out of the soft equipment problems. Huzzah! Hexdex coming in with the generosity. Thank you very, very much for that. I appreciate that. Hexdex has given a gift sub to Saberbane, Sewu, Tropical Chill, Charlie of Buck, Huzzah! And the Elite Tardigrade. Thank you very much for that, Hexdex. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate that. Huzzah! Okay, thank you so much, that's really cool. we're still just producing heavy tanks. There's not much I'm going to be able to do with the templates yet, but we will need to start building some heavy tank templates. In fact, let's do that before we go too much further. So the heavy cavalry are going to be those, and these are going to be using mechanized infantry. You probably don't actually need field hospitals. Logistics companies, absolutely. Even with 4 heavy tanks, you have an organization of 57. Crikey. 300 breakthrough. Well, we begin with that. And we'll make sure that they have the armored division names. So it looks like the counterattack against Finland is going pretty well. How strong is Finland? Of course, the AG is now independent. The anthem for the new America. Congress is debating what anthem shall become the official anthem of the Socialist Republic of America. Several songs have quickly become the candidates to debate. The question is, what shall be voted on to become the official anthem of America? Solidarity forever, there is power in union, this land is your land. I have no idea what any of those songs are. Actually, this land is your land, I do know. But the other two? Solidarity forever is too communist. We're not necessarily communist, we're socialist. Power in a union? This land is your land. We're going with that. Power in a union could be taken more literally to be the syndicalist trade unions. I think the top one would be the most totalist, the middle one, the union one, would be the most syndicalist, and the bottom one's the most radical socialist. They should have gone with Highway to Hell. Nice. Okay, so we now have this one solid line against Turkestan Khanate and the Don Kuban Union. They're going to be gobbling up the rest of the Soviet Union. Unfortunately, there's not a huge amount we can do about that, but we can at least hold the line here. And we'll have a pretty good line against them to do so. Although it does look like Don Kuban's still trying to push through. Need to beat Finland as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Denmark's attack on Germany continue. They're still on the outskirts of Berlin, but it does look like they're being stopped from that. We do have some units entrapped in Brunswick, and we just need more men. Wow, Southern Ontario has taken a bit of damage. So that's telling me that we need to have more militia units out so we can deal with the resistance. Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to prioritize these too much because they're just going to get damaged again. For 7 military factories in Southern Ontario, that's quite a few. So in fact, I'm going to drop you down here with those. And we'll just focus on upgrading the industry in America. All three were socialist songs in the 20th century. The third was slightly reworded and introduced into schools. If playing a major power where there is not resource constrained, does it seem doable to focus on building light SP artillery instead of regular artillery because of the greater soft attack? Yes. Definitely. So that's actually an interesting question. I wonder what has more SP attack. Regular artillery, well, motorized artillery, motorized rocket artillery, or SP. So you have soft attack of 36. SP, light, soft attack of 46. And regular, I'm going to say tier 3 artillery. Soft attack of 34. So SP artillery is first, then probably... Well, no, because as you upgrade these, the motorized soft attack also gets increased radically. So I suspect the motorized rocket artillery are probably first, but they also require the most research. At least I hope that's how it would work. Whereas the SP artillery is probably the cheapest research-wise, because you only need one tech. Well, two. The tank and then it. There is a huge counterattack going on here. So how many troops has Austria lost? $500,000. Hungary 600,000. Papal States 300,000. Two Sicilies 900,000. Oh right, yes, the two Sicilies joined Austria. I forgot about that. French Republic 1.4. Denmark 300. Finland 200. Ukraine 800. Right with any at 300. AOG 1.5 million. Interesting. How are we in winter? Winter specialist, 28%. We are a ranger already, so we do get bonuses in forest, which is a lot of Finland, though there is also quite a few hills. Although hill fighter are at 68%, so we are getting there. Not very well acclimatized for the cold. Oh no, 99.9. 99.2% in December. Am I going to fight the Soviet Union? No. They are my comrades. We are all socialists together. We saved the Soviet Union from being absorbed by Russia again. Defeated the Russians. We've been sending them hundreds of thousands of guns to fight. And now we're getting more directly involved. Although we did have volunteers there previously before we were actually allied. Then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blues down here against Don Kuban, the reds up here against Turkestan, and just draw lines and say attack. Although actually, once I've dealt with Finland, I could try and push down through Norway to go and save that. Although, this is some really horrible terrain, especially for motorized units, so maybe I won't do that.
Listen up.
So I'll get the cut off.
Ready.
Sultanate of Egypt is no longer non-aggression, eh?